Peace. Infinite waters diving deep once again. I woke up like this, deep divers all magical and fly, just, whoa, breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Raising the frequency. I feel so much better now. Raising the vibration. I feel so much better now. Hadouken. Take all of that good ass energy I'm sending you. You feel so much better now. So does the cat down the road. And let me say a big shout out to everyone who's joined the new Infinite Waters Patreon page for all new exclusive content that's going to help you become your greatest version. Patreon.com/RalphSmart. Click the link down below, deep divers, and be inspired. So I've been covering the Hurricane Milton in Florida. And we're going to talk about the aftermath. I'm going to give you my reaction to everything that unfolded. And we know so far that actually 3 million people were left without power. 4 people lost their lives, and condolences go out to their family. But this video, we're going to talk about things which you may not hear, because there is a lesson we can learn from this hurricane that can also help us become our greatest versions. You see, the truth is, this hurricane was not as bad as they made it out to be. Yes, it was bad, but it could have been worse. And in life, we have to remind ourselves that we should not always think of the worst case scenario, because it may never happen. I want all of you right now to hit that like button if you support the real. Once again, hit that like button right now if you support the real, because we got a whole lot to talk about. Look, if you are watching this video, this is your confirmation you're about to overcome anything that's been weighing heavy on your heart and mind, okay? So this hurricane, Milton, the aftermath, yes, it was pretty crazy. You had stadium roofs blown off, right? But it could have been worse. And we've got to keep that in mind, because we ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello there? It could have been worse, right? And let me play you the news clip that happened after it, right?
Of course, have breaking news. Hurricane Milton, which made landfall last night as a Category 3 storm near Siesta Key, Florida, carving a path of destruction after slamming along that state's west coast and bringing a life-threatening storm surge and flash flooding. Right now, Milton has been downgraded to a Category 1 storm with maximum sustained winds at about 85 miles per hour. The hurricane battered the state with a number of dangerous tornadoes that destroyed an estimated 125 homes. In St. Lucie County, a tornado proved deadly, killing at least 2 people in a mobile home retirement community. The sheriff there now says that his county is in 100% rescue mode. Extreme winds also tore down traffic lights, scattered debris across roadways, and sent a crane, as you can see here, into a building. Over 3 million homes and businesses are now in the dark after widespread power outages were reported. Joining us now live from Orlando is NBC News correspondent Priscilla Thompson. Priscilla, good morning. Could you give us the very latest as to the conditions there and what the latest is on the ground?
Yeah, Jonathan, so let me tell you a little bit about what we're seeing here. We are still getting some wind. You can see some of these trees blowing, but at this point, the storm is more than 30 miles past us, and so we're not getting those super high winds that we saw overnight, with Daytona Beach getting winds of 81 miles per hour. We're also seeing some water pooling, but again, it's making its way to the drain. This is nothing like what folks were talking about when we were thinking about those 14 inches of rain that Orlando was potentially going to see, but keeping in mind that the rain is still coming down and we don't yet have a sense of what it looks like around the rest of the city. I will tell you that a big issue here and really across the state of Florida is the lack of power. I'm going to walk you down to this street here, and you can see a lot of these businesses here running on generator power, but you've got no street lights on this side and you've got street lights on this side. So that just gives you a sense of some of the power outages that we're dealing with here. But this was an area that worked really hard to prepare. The county passed out more than 200,000 sandbags. They have been pre-positioning pumps to get the water out if that catastrophic flash flooding did occur. And so we'll be out more today looking for some of that. But we know that that is not the case everywhere. There were parts of Tampa that saw that storm surge rushing in, potentially deadly storm surge. We're already getting in reports that there are people who have died as a result of this storm. There are also injuries. You mentioned those tornadoes that swept through overnight, causing a lot of damage in St. Lucie County with that mangled metal that we saw from that sheriff's structure that was just a pile of mangled metal. We saw trees that were crashing into homes. And so that is some of the issues that folks are waking up to as the storm is still moving, making its way out of the state, but still a lot of issues on the ground in some areas. Jonathan?
We're seeing footage right now of one of those tornadoes. They were just massive and truly dangerous. So Priscilla, obviously the sun's not up yet, so it's difficult to really assess. Officials have not, it's difficult to know exactly how bad things were. Just give us the latest in terms of where you are now, the sort of Orlando region, obviously inland. Is there any sense of reports of injuries or deaths?
So we're here in Orlando. We know that fire and the police had to shelter in place at one point overnight, but now they are back out on the roads. We haven't seen any reports of injuries or deaths yet here. And the big concern here really was the flooding. We saw Hurricane Ian in 2022 just brought devastating flooding to the Orlando area. And so that is really what they have been telling people to prepare for. And we spoke to residents here yesterday who said that they were prepared. They felt like they were going to be okay. But of course, you never really know, especially when those floodwaters start rushing in. And of course, as you mentioned, we're only in one area right now. The sun is still down, so we'll have an opportunity to get out and see if there are some of these other areas that may be harder hit. But for now, real issue, the power outages and the potential that as this rain continues coming down, even as this storm is moving out, we could still see some of that devastating flooding. Jonathan?
NBC News correspondent Priscilla Thompson there in Orlando. Thank you and stay safe.
So I told you, let love guide you and not fear. In my mind, this is a wake-up call for humanity. We're living in the end times, and all of these things are happening for a reason, because Gaia, Mother Nature, is calling humanity to get right with nature. We're destroying the planet, and you're going to continue to see more hurricanes in the future until we get our act straight. Now, I also spoke about the Exodus, right? This is a metaphor that people fleeing their homes, you're going to start to see more of that, because you see, right now, the matrix is collapsing. The old world is coming to an end, and a new world, a new earth is being formed, and Gaia is just cleansing the earth. There's nothing to be afraid of. And they were talking about a category 5 or 4, but it was only 3, and then it turned out to be 1. And there were reporters in the midst of the storm. I'm like, if it's so bad, why are you there, right?
This is the winds have really picked up. The water's really moving. You can get a sense of just how fast the wind is moving there. You can see it in the light there. It is now just whipping off the Manatee River. It's coming in from kind of the north, I guess, northeast, and the water now is really starting to pour over. If you look at the ground, whoa, okay, that wasn't good. We'll probably go inside shortly, but you can see the amount of water here on the ground. This is water from the Manatee River. It's also water coming from the land as well. But as I don't know if you can turn, Neil. Take a look at this. There's a bridge over there. I've seen some emergency vehicles going across the bridge over the last hour or so. It looks like there's one about to come across. But you can really get a sense of just how much that water is coming on shore now. Let me just grab this here. So yeah, like stuff is just, this came from the river. Thankfully, it's just styrofoam.
Right. So yes, it's good that they prepared. But once again, when we talk about becoming our greatest versions, deep divers, always let love guide you and not fear. If you're ready for that, just say, I'm ready to let love guide me and not fear. That's good, right? Now, there was someone who became a kind of star of this Hurricane Milton, and he goes by the name of Lieutenant Dan, right? And I actually saw a video of his. I'm like, wow, this guy is going to stay in the hurricane. This guy is crazy. I thought he's literally crazy, right? I'll play you the video. But he survived, right? And in life, we have to remind ourselves, when you overcome fear, you can survive anything. Now, here's the video.
People that are new, explain to them why you're deciding to stick out a Category 5, one of the worst hurricanes in Tampa history, out on a 20-foot sailboat in Tampa Harbor.
My faith in God. I don't put my faith in man. God told me to come out here and get a boat. I came out here and got a boat. And everything that he's been telling me over the last 2 days is I'm doing the right thing. He's got my back. I'm in good shape. I ain't sweating it. We're going to ride this one out. We got set up the way we know what we're doing. And as long as the water just keeps rising, we'll be fine.
Will you be wearing a life jacket?
Hell no.
Are you going to be able to swim if it need be?
In circles.
Can you swim with one leg or what?
Yeah, I can float like a damn champ. But swimming, I just go in circles.
So the plan's just to stick it out here?
Yeah. I mean, the water's going to come in, it's going to rise. If you're on land, it's going to flood, you're risking drowning. I'm in a boat. The boat goes up with the water. So even if the boat goes up 100 feet in the air, I'm going to be up 100 feet in the air with the water. So it's really, the safest place in the world to be is on my boat. And I got room for one more female.
Give the people some words of wisdom out there.
Just, you know what to do. Just be safe. Don't do stupid shit. And we'll all be all right. We'll be here, we'll be here tomorrow and the day after.
Perfect, man. Let's go one day at a time. Let's do.
And I was like, wow, that guy is brave, right? And that shows you when you overcome fear, anything is possible. Now, he came out of it, right? Because a lot of people are like, he's stupid. And I always say, when we talk about overcoming fear, you have to have that balance to say, actually, let me not put my life at risk, but let me also have faith, right? And he said, I put my trust in God, not in man. That's a slow motion, right? Because people were scared. They were telling you things like this.
So what does that look like? Well, let's show you. Imagine this. Imagine 3 feet of storm surge right here. Now, if this amount of water catches you by surprise, it's too late to evacuate. Cars are floating around and floating away. There's large objects in here that could knock things down with a battering ram-like force. Now, there's no way, again, to evacuate with this kind of storm surge. But we know there's going to be places with more than 3 feet. Imagine 6 feet of storm surge. Now, this completely floods out the first floors of homes and businesses, and the only way to escape that is to move to the higher floor of a building. Now, unfortunately, there are going to be places that get more than 6 feet of storm surge flooding. Imagine this, 9 feet and even beyond of flooding, of inundation. This is practically not survivable. So please follow the advice of your local officials when they ask you to evacuate. And if you have any questions about what evacuation zone you're in, if you need to go and or where you need to go to floridadisaster.org. And by all means, everybody, please stay safe.
So I thought this guy was crazy. But here's a video of him actually surviving Hurricane Milton.
Lieutenant Dan! Lieutenant Dan! Lieutenant Dan! Are you okay? Are you okay? I'm fine. Are you sure? I think you made it through the worst of it. Yeah. The water's all receded here. I don't know. It might go high. Okay, well we're gonna stay up here, so. Alright. Okay.
So, when we talk about becoming our greatest versions, yes, hurricanes are scary, but you can also overcome, just like Hurricane Dan. Now, there are a lot of people saying, well, actually, this guy had a criminal past and all kind of things, but I'm just giving you that example. When you overcome fear, anything is possible.
First off, this man has a GoFundMe with over $20,000 in it. He's not homeless, period. He lives on a boat, except for the short year that he spent in prison for beating a EMT with a violin. His GoFundMe is under a different name than the one that he's using in the daily press and the one that he was arrested in. So it's really hard to tell who exactly he is. But what I have found is that his Facebook page lists himself as a digital creator. That's right, a digital creator. He lives in Palm Beach, knowing that there was going to be a storm. He anchored himself to the worst place in all of Tampa. The worst place. From where he anchored, there are 4 marinas. The Hillsborough River, a short jaunt, like literally not even 700 feet from where he's anchored, would have been a safer location to put his boat. He was offered hotels. He was offered homes. He has clearly made $20,000 in a GoFundMe. All of this for internet clout. Meantime, there are people who are homeless in Tampa and St. Pete, Clearwater area. There are people who are infirm, who are gravely ill, who have no cars, who cannot leave, who do not have options, and those people have my sympathies. Those are the people that deserve our sympathy. Not people who have decided that they want to chase clout on the internet. Not people who have $20,000 in a GoFundMe that they started 3 weeks ago. Not people who came to Tampa to make a point. Not people who chase internet fame.
Now, that was the other side of it, right? But in my mind, when I saw this story, I said, okay, it's a genuine story, right? And it was kind of touching to say, oh my gosh, this is someone who's survived Hurricane Milton, right? But Adin Ross actually gave him allegedly $50,000 or $100,000 for a boat, right? And check this out.
We were able to come up. I'm going to be able to pay for a boat for you. We're going to get you a nice boat in the range of $50,000 to $100,000. And we're going to get you a full-time kick deal.
Adin Ross may not give Florida's Lieutenant Dan $100,000 to buy a boat. He promised another guy $70,000 to stay home for Hurricane Milton. Turns out during the live stream, the guy found out he wasn't getting paid.
Adin Ross commented and said he's not paying me. What the I'm out here risking my life.
Could Florida's Lieutenant Dan be getting played? Or does Adin Ross have a good reason not to give Florida's Lieutenant Dan some money? Allegedly, this guy tried to set people on fire and he went to jail. So maybe it's best if Adin Ross just keeps his money. I also find it weird that the GoFundMe of Florida's Lieutenant Dan has changed in the last 24 hours.
$25,000 goal. But then if we go to right here, they switch it to $100,000. So what's going on?
So my thoughts on this whole aftermath of the Hurricane Milton is that once again, it's Mother Nature doing her thing, cleansing out the planet, making us realize that actually it's over. The way we have been living is over. We've got to get right with ourselves. We've got to get right with Mother Nature. And as for Lieutenant Dan, well, when I saw he was in the boat with the hurricane, I'm like, this guy is crazy. And then seeing him make it out, I'm like, wow, that's crazy as well, right? I don't know who he is, but his story is also fascinating. I always say that in this day and age of social media, there are a lot of people who are clout chasing. I even saw some videos of people in the hurricane, like driving around. It was crazy. And don't put your life at risk just for internet fame, right? So that's my take on it, Deep Dive, is look, ultimately, if you're getting right with nature, you will always be protected. I want all of you right now to hit that like button if you're ready to let love guide you and not fear. Once again, hit that like button right now if you support The Real. Share this video, subscribe to the channel, and that's why I'm just saying, feels so good to be alive, baby. Can I get a hello there? Whoa, breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Go and check out the #1 best-selling book, Feel Alive by Ralph Smart, on Amazon and at ralphsmart.com/the-book, The Bible of Becoming Your Greatest Version, and the latest new book, The Book of 1111 Infinite Quotes by Ralph Smart at ralphsmart.com/the-book, The Secret Recipe to Becoming Your Greatest Version. And go and get the Good Ass Prana shirts, Deep Divers, all new designs for men, women, children, even cats down the road at ralphsmart.com/clothes, and spreadshirt.com if you're in America. And if you're a sexy ass model, whoa, with a whole lot of heart, you want to model the clothing? Well, go and buy some. And if you want a one-to-one consultation with me so I can help you become your greatest version, make sure you book it at ralphsmart.com/one-to-one sessions. Deep Divers, let love guide you and not fear. The Hurricane Milton is over, but remind yourself, it's a wake-up call. There is an exodus happening on the planet. People are getting out of the cities. They're realizing that as humanity, we've got to do better. We've got to let go of fear, and we have to free our mind, because you're all being programmed in the matrix, and it's time to wake up. One love. Peace. Infinite waters diving deep once again. Stay well, stay healthy. Peace. Yo! Once again, deep divers, hit that like button right now if you support The Real. Share this video, subscribe to the channel. Once again, hit that like button right now if you support The Real, and leave a comment down below of gratitude and appreciation. One love. Peace.